How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Valentine's Day.
It's Valentine's Day time.
My beautiful Valentine is here with me. She's gonna be joining Jade. Jade, come on, over here. Hey. If you ended up clicking on this isn't a movie that really would garnish a lot of random clicks. But if you were so lucky to have clicked on this review, you are really in for a blessing. Today's review was actually recommended to me by the main actress herself, Ashley Bratcher. You might remember her from a movie called Unplanned. And also, she was in a movie called Princess Cut, one of my personal favorite reviews I've ever done, because the movie just is so scrumptiously terrible, and I love it. Now, rumor has it there is a sequel, 2 sequels to the movie Princess Cut in the works as we speak, but those movies haven't come out yet. In these tough economic times, in a post 9/11, in this political climate, who knows when those movies are going to come out? But I figured this movie should tide us over. I believe the main character in Princess Cut's name is Grace, so also too unto thee shall be the name of the main character in this movie. It's called A Walk with Grace. Gosh, I don't know if there's anything else to talk about with this movie other than to get right into it, so that's exactly what we're gonna do right now. Grab your Valentine's Day chocolates and get ready for my movie night review of A Walk with Grace. So we kick off the movie with this flashback, I guess, I don't know, of people wrestling. Fun. Which apparently there's just one lady here watching them wrestle and yelling.
Wrestle smart, wrestle smart! No! He's good, Nate, but you're great!
Alright, well, when the wrestling and the credits are done, we head over to this old lady who's talking to Grace, God's grace. Through the midst of her endless platitudes, we also get some obvious exposition. Basically, she's at the end of her life, and she has this son who has a daughter, and she never spent enough time with them because her husband died, and she had to take over the factory, and she wants him to know that she has always loved him.
Did you get all that jib-jab, Grace?
I did.
Wow, that's amazing how she's able to blur out that Apple logo in real life. Along with Grace. And voiceover.
I finally found a way to get you back to your hometown.
As we head down the road of this movie, and literally, we start to learn a lot about this man and his daughter, which obviously, this is the son and the granddaughter of that old lady that we just saw. She died. I know you're really torn up about it. Oh, another thing that happens while they drive along is Chloe is reading all these super cool, hip church signs.
You have one new friend request from Jesus. Swipe right.
Yeah, I'm always swiping right when I get friend requests.
No God, no peace. No God, no peace.
It works better if you see it in writing. I guess we should have showed that in the movie.
Thought they were lame.
I thought they were lame too.
Love thy neighbor even if they aren't an Ohio State fan.
Then we cut to the Capitol building. Too soon. It won't be in February when this airs.
Yeah, I'd like to order the number 1, the supersized exposition dump. Just tell us a bunch of things we need to know, several things we don't need to know, and things we already know about the movie so far. Thanks.
Prodigal son has returned. Pays mom respect. Her family name's not real popular. Daddy and I, we wrestled together when I was.
Then your mom passed.
Family name's
So
not
now
real
I'm
popular.
guessing you're
Daddy
kind of
and I,
ticked off because
we
Sabrina's
wrestled
going to sell the
together when I
factory.
was-
You
got a memorial.
Prodigal son is
You know, we had spring wrestling
Came back
from
from
the war. All of our names not real
If that didn't make things clear enough, then let's cut to Nate's cousin, who can also fill us in on what's going on.
I haven't seen my cousin in 20 years, and now he's showing up as the new acting director of operations to the factory that I have been running by myself.
All right, well, let's head over to the funeral where we get to meet our wonderful cast of interesting, weird characters.
So people just talk to you around here?
So people just, like, talk to you? Whoa, that's weird. Well, at the funeral, in walks Stephen Baldwin, who apparently is at the funeral, even though we find out he's just a banker who's looking to buy the factory.
Appreciate you taking such an interest in my family's factory and all the hard work that Sabina here has done.
You win with people, right, Nate? I was a wrestler once, too.
Yeah, but why is a big Cincinnati bank so interested in such a small family factory? I'm curious. It's
Nathan, are we really gonna do this right now?
It seems like everybody's just doing whatever they want. So apparently what the deal is here is that Stephen Baldwin wants to buy the factory for twice what it's worth.
This guy wants to buy the factory from you and Sabrina for twice what it's worth?
Everybody's mad at Nate and his cousin because they're thinking of taking the deal.
These days, it's all about getting yours and getting paid.
It's real bad that he's gonna sell the factory. Why wouldn't you do this if they're buying it for twice what it's worth? Just sell the factory, then buy another factory that's worth twice as much, and hire everybody who works there.
Are you insane?
And Nate doesn't have time to explain any of this to anybody because he's too distracted by Grace.
What was her name?
That's Grace, Pastor Tom's little sister.
Then we get the funeral where we see that the town is filled with shapeshifters. Wow, that was the best funeral I've ever been to. Then after the funeral, everybody's got an opinion about him selling off the factory.
I'm so sorry about your loss, Nathan. Thank you. And I'm sorry my bank couldn't make the loan work.
So nothing trivial like selling off your family factory.
Oh, really, Tom? We're gonna do this right now.
Is that the only line you have for anybody?
I mean, this is the church that he first took communion in. It's right near the high school where he became a wrestling legend.
Yes, we get it. He's a wrestling legend and he's selling the town factory. Come on. We got it. The audience has it. Everybody's got it. The only people who don't have it are the pastor and Nate, who decide to start wrestling in the middle of the funeral.
Oh, yeah? You want to do this now?
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go. Okay. Now take two.
They're kidding, right?
No.
Reversal to the man of God!
What are we watching? Wow, this pastor is really invested in the factory. And it seems Nate is also sick and tired of all the exposition.
Okay, guys, all right, I got it.
I bet this church sign had a real zinger on it. Well, the next day, I think it's time for an uncomfortable sports coach cameo.
Tom Ryan?
Wrestling, catch the Buckeyes, it's an honor.
I got a locker waiting for you back in our new complex if you want to come roll around. Don't be a stranger,
What?
Thanks for coming by, Coach. God bless you and your family. I'll call you next week.
Well, now it's time to cut over to the
You have
Sunday
butt to
school
catch.
room where we're gonna
And your
have the big sale of the company. But only after everybody in the room explains what we already know.
This factory has been an anchor around my neck.
An anchor!
We have valued your 49% at more than double the local bank's appraisal.
Why?
Yes, we have a contract, but we lost 2 other contracts. We barely have enough assets for a small bank loan.
Why would you say this stuff in front of the person you're trying to sell it to? Then Chloe speaks to the situation and says he should totally sell it because she wants to get home.
And the plane takes off in 3 hours. This is a gift from God.
And also, Dad, why am I here for this? But that's when it's interrupted by Grace, God.
Hey, Ben, stop!
I just flew in from Planned Parenthood, and boy, are my arms tired.
Nate Lassiter, you sign anything before Monday morning at the courthouse, it'll be fraud.
So she has been retained by deceased Carol Lassiter to fight to keep the factory local. So apparently this is what Grandma wanted.
I said I wanted the frosted muffin.
Great. Here are the Muffin Twins.
Oh, that old insult, the Muffin Twins. Who can forget?
Why would Carol change her mind about selling the factory?
She said, "What does it profit a man to gain the entire world and lose his own soul?"
I'm not exactly sure what that means, but...
I'm sorry, Nate. It's what your mom wanted. It is what your mother wanted. But this was really important to her.
So you guys know each other?
We dated.
What? That's weird since you didn't even know who she was like a day ago.
What was her name?
That's Grace.
Well, I'll be at the wrestling meet.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's wrestling in this movie.
Walk me out.
Please.
So while her dad is taking a walk with Grace, Chloe is texting the video of him flirting with Grace to Auntie Graciela. Why is she sending it in MOV format? That's way too big. Now we cut to the big wrestling tournament or something. And guess who's there? Oh.
I don't understand sport, but he looks good doing it.
Yeah, everyone has a crush on me.
Including me. Get in line, sister. And that's when Auntie Graciela shows up. In response to the text she got before?
Auntie Graciela.
Chloe, what did you do?
Hi, Dave. Sit. You're that bumblebutt flyover state attorney who's trying to take away my niece's future. Hello, I'm Graciela.
I'm noticing a pattern in the way female characters are introduced in this movie.
I haven't seen my cousin in 20 years.
I have been retained by the deceased Carol Lassiter.
You're the enemy.
That's when Nate is surprised by them honoring him at the wrestling tournament.
Let's hear it for the 3-time league champ, the state wall of fire, and the man who was always an inspiration for doing things the right way!
Yeah, Nate, this guy is destroying our entire town. Let's give him an award. So later, at this church bar or something, I've rewound it and watched it over and over to figure out what the heck this place is. But they're doing praise and worship, and then there's a lot of people getting drunk. It looks like a church basement, like most of the scenes in this movie. There's a lot more kids there than I'm used to at a bar. Then we get another entrance from the cousin.
I'll do what I have to do because Carol asked me to.
Gosh, I wish someone would explain to me what's going on now.
Sabrina hired Grace right out of law school. Then your mom hired Grace to fight Sabrina over the sale of the factory.
Oh, boy, I get it now.
Oh, I get it now, too.
You're protesting because Carol felt that you haven't done everything you can to save the factory. It's not fair.
Well, the world's not fair, and we must remember that family must come first, whether you're in Lima, Ohio, or Lima, Peru.
Well, upset by all this fighting, Luke decides he's gotta leave. He just can't take it. But that's when he's stopped by the worship leader or something.
Hey, get over here. Get over here! We challenge Luke to do what he does every week.
Put honey all over his body and let bears lick it off.
Also, his dad is great on the guitar. Let's get Pastor Tom up here. See, Nate brought two beautiful senoritas from Los Angeles. So let's show him a little bit of Lima love.
Ready to cowboy up just like we practice?
Hey, that's the same microphone that I have. Great, I gotta get rid of this thing. Well, that's when it's time for us to get a little Latin singing. Amazing The rendition of Amazing Grace I wanted. You know, if they didn't play Amazing Grace in this movie, I would have been really frustrated. Looks like Grace is really appreciating the song, though. This is about me, probably. Well, Nate isn't having much fun because he gets an important business call that doesn't matter to the plot at all.
Okay.
Nate, you need to see this now.
I gotta go.
People awkwardly dancing and stuff? Thank you for interrupting my phone call for this. Well, if you thought that was the end of the musical performances, don't worry. No mercy, go, 'cause a bad man living in a bad man home. Well, this is when we get our biggest clue that this is actually Grace from Princess Cut. We learn about her past.
Divorce, law school, and now you're back to torture me.
I can only assume that Grace from Princess Cut ended up divorcing Clint after she found out that he was having an affair with her father. So now she's on the prowl for a newer, even older man.
How is it that you're able to remain uncynical?
Yeah. How is it that you're able to remain uncynical?
Really need to go get Caitlin from my mom.
Who's Caitlin?
Okay. Can I walk you out?
He loves taking a walk with and outwalk our two lovebirds.
That was good tonight.
Oh, yeah. You're definitely full of surprises.
Thank you. She looks like she's having a good time tonight.
Uh-oh, too good of a time. Oh, no. She looks like she's having a really good time in there. But then, outside of the church bar, things go down.
Good evening, ma'am. Be a crime let you escape without introducing myself. I'm Joel, and I would love to take you out and show you a little bit of Lima.
Would you arrest me if I said no?
No, ma'am.
And then this guy walks out and he's drunk, and that somehow makes Graciela fine with going out on a date with him right now?
She's pretty, I know. Yeah, you're pretty.
But can you drop me off at my car later?
I sure can.
I get all kinds of free gas from the government. Thanks, taxpayers.
Looks like sister-in-law is going on an adventure.
Why don't you two go on your own adventure? I want to get to know my niece. How about she spends the night? And you, Miss Thing, I'm gonna go pick up your daughter at your mom's. And I'll make sure that Tom's daughter comes with us as well. It'll be a girls' summer party. Tomorrow is Palm Sunday. I'm mourning. I'm hormonal. I demand it.
Holy crap, stop telling me things.
You want to go grab some grub?
Yeah.
Old school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Chloe ends up falling for this guy. Whoa.
Where'd all those stars come from?
Where did those stars come from? Jesus.
Like freckles in the sky.
I love that old Beatles song, Freckles in the Sky.
Never thought of it that way.
I always thought they were balls of gas burning billions of miles away.
So you got a lot going on back in LA? Like a boyfriend?
Sadly, no on one. Definitely no on two. I once played spin the bottle, but didn't want my first kiss to be in some basement. Now, here.
Take the hint, dude.
Well, hate to make a lady ask twice.
I'll go get a bottle.
You sing so good.
Wait a minute.
We should
She just implied very clearly that she wanted him to lock lips with her. Then she rejects him? How dare you? I'm sorry, I just realized what I was saying. It's okay to change your mind. I didn't mean to imply that you have to go through with something. But still, that was rude. But whatever happened to the cop taking the drunk guy home, you might be asking? Cut to the cop taking the drunk guy home. He's driving with the interior light on? That's illegal probably, I think, is what my parents told me when I was a kid. Meanwhile, Grace and the guy, whatever his name is, are taking a little walk with Grace. Why is he hanging out with her? I thought she was like the lawyer in a case against him. It's almost as if though the whole factory storyline is just a vehicle in order to tell a really crappy Christian/love story.
I forgave you. That's Grace. From Grace.
I just realized how lame the title of this movie is.
Well, it's just you and God that you have to be accountable to. And Chloe, obviously. And apparently Graciela, too.
And my dad, of course. What? They kiss before marriage? That's not something Grace from Princess Cut would do.
I haven't dated in a while, but I didn't think this was illegal.
But that's when the cops come, because you can serve kids alcohol, but you can't kiss in public. But it's just Graciela. Wow, first date and she's already mishandling his berries and cherries? Well, Nate and Grace's relationship really starts to ramp up, which is weird because this all is supposed to happen in like a day. Anyway, it ramps up to the point where they're even making out in church? What? Why?
Really, Gracie? What, Sabrina?
All right, well, let's get back to the factory storyline.
According to the details of the contract, I could halt this transaction for weeks. But Carol had another idea. She hired me to do diligence on Mr. Thorson.
She hired you to do diligence, did she?
Interesting. Please go on.
And that's when Grace drops the biggest bombshell of them all.
On Carol Lasser's behalf, I uncovered that your bank has plans to refurbish a factory in Cincinnati, funded by a Middle Eastern corporation.
What?
That's actually not a big deal for me.
Yeah, me neither.
What? What? You really?
Yeah, I mean, well, what's wrong with that?
Oh, no, nothing. It's nothing, I guess. I think it's great. Congratulations.
I don't think I'm comfortable around you anymore.
Factory cannot be sold without first thoroughly reviewing the factory's assets, then submitting a notarized itemization of value to the board. Seriously, really? Wow.
I'm sorry. Your mother wanted you and Chloe to finally spend a holiday here.
Well, I don't know about all that spending a holiday here. From what he read in the contract, he basically has to do a full evaluation of the company before he can sell it. Well, it's at this point we meet up with an Estevez, who gives Nate a bunch of really bad advice.
Can't take generations of sweat and loyalty and sell them for pennies on the dollar.
But he's not. Like they said, he's selling it for $2 on the dollar.
We gotta communicate. Don't work stupid. Make more money? We need a smart engineer to figure all that out.
I know a little bit about that.
I bet you did.
Absolutely, old-timer.
And we're going to make sure you do everything right before we sign over.
Well, since Nate decides that he's gonna sign the contract, Grace has to make it all about her.
Explain how not to. What you ask me is not the way the world works.
Well, that's the way that my world works.
So eventually, Nate comes up with a plan. But it's a secret. We won't know what it is until later. Oh boy!
How do we distract Cousin Sabrina?
Oh, I got that. That's easy. A woman cannot resist the call of the sale. Grace, you in?
It is spring clearance season.
I texted Sabby that we're staying tonight, and you want to honor Nana's wishes to be here for Good Friday fish lunch.
Plan B is going to require a major team effort.
Oh, we know all about the difficulties of a plan B. All right, let's see how this big plan gets implemented with another big meeting at the factory.
We have been making product here the right way for generations, so we can continue.
I own the majority of this corporation. If you ruin this deal for me, I will see you in court.
But that's when the bus shows up with pie, of course, which is something we were all expecting. And it all makes sense to the plot of the movie.
Pastor, a priest, and a rabbi get off a bus.
Let's hope for a happy punchline.
My mom used to tell me that big corporations, they always move their factories overseas so they don't have to look at anybody when there's a layoff.
No, they don't. They move their factories overseas so they can avoid regulations, taxes, and yes, sometimes even exploit people with slave labor. But all of it has nothing to do with who they have to look in the eye. It all has to do with making money.
If I stick around here, I'm gonna have to look at you people.
Using the emotional pull of his mom's bad information, Nate reveals his big plan.
What can we do so that we don't have to sign all this away?
Employee ownership.
Yes.
Perfect. Now the employees can eat the cost of this profitless company.
We spread the responsibility, we spread the love, and we spread the profit.
And the losses.
Isn't that right?
Yes, it is.
Come on, let's.
Everybody shut up.
Come on, fellow owners. Let's celebrate.
Quack.
Rock on Sabrina.
Quack. 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 Quack.
I think it's time for a new way of the world.
And as we all hoped and dreamed, they end up together.
I would like to court you, ma'am.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Wait, I thought that was her dad. And we end with one last Grace pun.
Making it through every day with Grace is not going to be easy.
It'll be one wonderful step at a time.
And everybody gets a kiss at the end. Oh, I didn't want to be kissed in some dirty basement. Instead, I'd like to be kissed in this nasty old factory.
Everyone's getting along, just like Grandma wanted.
And the movie ends with one more song.
Forging the grace to finish the race. I'm talking about Grace, and I'm talking about Grace over there. Distance we run.
It should be the distance we walk with Grace. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was A Walk with Grace. Maybe the best movie I have ever reviewed on this show. When you get a movie that just, it's so confident and knows what it's doing, you know, it knows that it's a love story and it sticks to that story, but also tells the great story of, I can't continue with the sarcasm any longer. I have to be honest. Somebody just said, A Walk to Forget in my chat. That is really what this movie truly is. And it was terrible in the worst kind of way. It's really hard to describe how crappy this movie is. Unfortunately, it's not the same kind of crappy as a movie like Princess Cut, which is kind of what I was hoping for since it's a Valentine's movie. The thing with Princess Cut is it filled two very special holes in my heart. My need for a very incompetent film that has so many strange and funny choices made in the production, but also was extremely passionate about a strange belief system that I tend to disagree with. In contrast, this movie, while it has many strange incompetencies, is also very dispassionate. I don't even know what the goal of making this movie was outside of like, we want to make a movie, or yeah, sure, it's Christian. Will you buy it then? Will you distribute our movie if we say it's Christian? It's slam-packed with secondhand embarrassment and cringe factor. But I just found myself bored the entire time, which I assume happened a lot probably to the people involved with the film as well. It's so boring, I can't even bring myself to make a better review of it. So that's A Walk to Forget. Happy Valentine's Day, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time.
She hired me to do diligence on Mr. Thorson.